Good afternoon, my journey readers. This is Denise Joyner, and I will be conducting today's oil change on Revelation 19 through 20. And I just wanted to let you know, written by Paul, this is seen as an apocalyptic book about the end times. There are a couple of views on this at the first century Christian church and Palestinian Jews had at this time. And the views were basically that it was either something that had happened already, something that they are currently experiencing, or something that they think will happen in the future. And the latter, the future expectation, was the predominant view of the early church, as well as the early Christian church, as well as the Jews, in particular Palestinian Jews. But let me just say that expectation, future expectation of an apocalyptic event, would not have been in the distant future, like hundreds of years or centuries later. It was an immediate expectation, meaning like in a couple of years, the world was going to end. Going to end by this heavenly war that will be held here on earth. The angelic hosts and God, Jesus Christ leading his army, would come and basically take out all those that are evildoers, that fought against him and didn't believe in him, in essence, and killed his followers. So this actually also was not a predominantly held view in the first century. It was not a predominantly held view by Jews that this apocalyptic war would be a heavenly war, meaning heavenly hosts would come and engage in this war. They basically saw it as nation against nation, results in an apocalyptic type event, end of the age, and where the Jews would be victorious, of course, because they were God's people over all the evil forces in the world. So that's pretty much how they would have viewed this apocalyptic book, let alone an apocalyptic war. So heaven in and of itself wasn't involved. But this is where John, as a Christian, makes his distinction, because John is in chapter 19 clearly stating that this is a heavenly war, and the heavens will come on earth fighting, avenging those who are believers in Christ. And in particular, verse 10 of chapter 19 talks and makes reference to not worshiping angels. And Jesus is not an angel, as some would allude to, but indeed God himself manifested here in flesh on earth. And since Jesus, in his second advent, his second return, is coming back bringing the heavenly hosts, he's going to avenge all those who followed him, and at that time, that are alive and those that have passed on. So John's book is a unique apocalyptic book, Jewish apocalyptic book, because there were actually many Jewish apocalyptic books in the book of Maccabees, also, which is in the Apocrypha, for Ezra, which is a Jewish apocalyptic text. There are a couple of others, but they really do make reference to a final judgment, a final war, and but John is different in that this war involves the heavenly hosts being led by Jesus, an army in essence. So let's go to chapter 20. And chapter 20 is 1,000-year kingdom. Now, this is interesting because Satan here is put in the abyss and basically held there for 1,000 years, in which he cannot influence anybody. And wouldn't we all love that? Because right now Satan is very much so active in influencing the world. And there are different views on this again. There are those that believe, like Augustine and Calvin, in amillennialism, which they see it as a symbolic representation of this present age. Nobody kind of believes that anymore. Then there's the post-millennialist, which believes that Jesus will return first, and then after that there will be the Satan will be held for 1,000 years. And then there's the millennialist, which would believe this is 1,000-year imprisonment of Satan, 1,000-year reign of Christ that will happen, and then, I'm sorry, 1,000-year imprisonment of Satan, and then Christ will return. That's the millennialists. So in today's Oil for the Journey oil change moment, what I want you to take home is just the importance of being ready, preparedness. No man knows the day or the hour of Christ's return, but all of this, like I said, is climactic to Christ's imminent return, his second advent. He was here one time, that's the first advent. His second advent is his coming again, and we need to be prepared for that. That's the whole purpose of the Advent season. It's a season of preparation, and being prepared is making sure that we know who God is, the true God, Jesus Christ. And we also, in our lives, subscribe to his law and live by his word. And if you're doing that, you're well on your way as a true believer to being prepared, whether it's a millennial, or post-millennial. God be with you, my brothers and sisters.